Hi YouTube friends, well take 3. The first time I used as a filler, and the second time my mom decided she needed to call. So I am going to be sharing with you a junk journal that I have made. This is being made with upholstery fabric that was gifted to me. Somebody had started making a journal cover out of it and I guess changed their mind, so they gave it to me and I cut it down to what I needed and carried on and made it a cover. I have made a 2 signature junk journal. I have glass beads on the outside and then 2 plastic beads. I have been getting back into beading. I need to get some more beads. I thought I had more, but I went through my stash and I realized that 90% of what I have is colored glass beads, so I want to invest in some more. The closure for the journal is vintage seam binding. This is not dyed. It is just the color of the seam binding and it matched perfectly. I have vintage laces on the outside as well. And then I have done some stitching around the flowers to adhere it to the coffee dyed paper on the inside. I did not want to glue it and I want to make sure that it held, and sewing makes sure it does that. So that is what I've done there. I've reinforced it with Tyvek in between the coffee dyed paper and the scrapbooking paper so that the spine is very strong and I don't have to worry about anything ripping. I have printables here. This is not a digital kit journal. This is use your stash journal. So I have digitals in there that I had already printed and had in my stash, as well as I've used some scrapbooking paper. It has been a really long time since the base of my journal was using scrapbooking paper, no digital kits, just, random digital printables that I had already, and I really enjoyed making this journal. I actually always enjoyed making more eclectic journals than I did digital journals. However, I have so many digital kits that are beautiful and I enjoy working with them, so I do a mix of both. I am hoping actually to do more journals with scrapbooking paper, as I have stacks of it that I really like. So that is what I've done here. I really like this paper, and I was actually looking at to see when it was made, and it was 2002. So I do not think it's available anymore, but it is very pretty. I sewed pockets on the front and back of each signature with the paper. I have one tiny scrap piece left out of everything that I've used in this journal. I've also backed all the tags that needed backing that weren't printed on cardstock. This was a printable. I don't know if it was mine or somebody else's, to be honest. It was a printable of lace. And I'm thinking that this one might have been somebody else's. Some of them I think were mine. I don't remember. This is a sticker I made. I foiled it and printed it on sticker paper. Journaling card. This technique here, where it's glossy, is packing tape over tissue paper and then run through my die cutting machine. The washi tape. This one I believe is mine. This printable here. Life is Sweet sticker, and then it is backed with pink cardstock. This here is printed on business cards, so this is just 2 attached together, and it's quite thick, and it's just, you can write on it or decorate it or take it apart and have 2 tags, whatever I choose to do. I will be keeping this journal. These are label stickers, vintage label stickers. They're actually meant for typewriters. I printed on them and then just put 2 of them together to use as tabs. This is just a tag that I was given in Happy Mail. Coffee filters that I've sewn around just because I like the way it looks. Little booklet with a pocket. These are Tsunami Rose mason jars, and they are backed as well. I love these mason jars. They are really old, and I don't honestly even know how to get a hold of Tsunami Rose's digitals anymore. I have so many of them that I have not purchased from her in years. I used to design for her, and then before I designed for her, I had bought a number of them. So I love them, I use them, but I do not need to be purchasing any more from her because at one point I had almost all of her kits that I liked. And now, like I said, I don't even know how to purchase them or if she's still designing. These are meant to be corners, but I just use them as embellishments. This is also a digital that I printed on photo paper and then printed out. And just a pocket. This here I kind of like. This is the bottom, or sorry, the top of a takeout container in Canada. I don't know how it is everywhere. We used to get them more of the styrofoam takeout containers. Now a lot of it's moved to paper, but it always had this pattern around it, the square takeout containers, and I just stamped on dyed paper, and I think it's a cool journaling spot. I recycle everything I can. This is a photo I have taken and printed. Just a journaling spot with music paper, coffee filter. I like to use coffee filters because they're easy. They're already coffee dyed. And there's no work, and I drink coffee every morning, so I go through a pile of them, and you can write on them. The other thing about coffee filters is they're going to take water, they're going to take media, they're meant to be wet. It's kind of like working with a tea bag. So anything with water and things like that, it's not going to rip them. So they're kind of a neat substrate, I guess, to work with. There is a journaling card in there as well. This is backed with the coffee filter. And coffee filters also give a really neat texture to your journals. These are stickers that you see. Coffee filter there. This is eco-dyed paper. This one I do not believe is mine. I believe that was given to me. I think this is still from Rosemary when I won it years ago. And I've been hoarding it. But I'm keeping this journal because I really like it, so I used things that I had in my stash that I liked. Well, I always use things that I have in my stash that I like. I mean, even if I'm selling the journal, but stuff that I want to keep. This is K & Company paper, some of it, and K & Company used to actually be my favorite paper company at one point. I still really like K & Company. I don't know if they're still in business, but the papers I have, I still do like them. Those are both Tsunami Rose as well. This is just random scrapbooking paper. I have no idea who did it. This is K & Company as well, and then I just sewed that. I've been really enjoying, I refilled my lace drawers from stuff I had in storage. I have more lace than any one person will probably use in their lifetime unless you do a lot of sewing. However, when I first started junk journaling, I used to be able to get vintage laces really cheap from the thrift store. Not so much anymore. And so I stocked up, and I have all the colors, all different patterns, and I absolutely love it. So I refilled, like I said, my lace drawers, and I have vintage laces available to me that I haven't had in quite a while. More of those stickers. This is another thing I did a really long time ago, and I was really glad to be able to use. These are stamped images. Somebody sent them to me on this paper, so I just cut it into a tag. They sent me a bunch of them. I'm really liking using older supplies that I have so that I can print more and do different things and have different things available to me. I don't know if I'm explaining that right, but I used to print things in bulk. I still print a lot of things, but if I get like something new to print on, say business cards or tissue paper or sticker paper, I'd print all different patterns on them, and then I would just put them, file them with where they go. And then of course, it's been so long since I've needed to replenish anything that I haven't had a chance to print anything new. I shouldn't say I haven't had a chance. I haven't really printed a lot new because I don't have space for it. So as I use stuff up, it's going to open up space to, try new printables and things like that. And that will be fun to work with. This was something I've never done before. I've sewn on a napkin. I've sewn down the lavender flowers. It is glued to the book page, but I just didn't trust that it was going to stay because I used glue stick, and I knew the edges were going to stay, but I had missed some in here, and so it bubbled a little bit. So I wanted to make sure that it stayed on my paper, and I really like that. I don't work with napkins very often. I like the patterns on napkins. I don't like how fussy they are to work with, but I do really like them in my journal, so maybe I should do it more often. This is the eco dye paper I've done. An altered paper clip I've done. This one I believe is my last altered paper clip like this. So I might make some more. I'm not sure. Some things you use up and you're like, oh, they're pretty, but you don't necessarily have a desire to use up a pile more. So we'll see. Printable. Another sticker. Oh, this was, I gotta fix that. That was stapled underneath there. It wasn't just loose, but another sticker I've made. Those were fun to make. This is label paper, so of course it's sticky. That was just in circles, and then I embellished it with Tim Holtz and some ribbon. Journaling cards. And that is the back of the book. So, like I said, I will keep this one. It might be my next journal that I work in. We'll see. But I do like it. I like the fact that even though there's lots of stuff in it, it lays flat. Like it's not alligator mouth because I didn't use really bulky embellishments. As pretty as I think they are, I don't find them super practical in journals. So I tend to stay away from them in most of my journals. But anyways, thank you for watching. Any questions or comments, leave them below, and I'll talk to you all later.